Hey, welcome back to TwoSun Tuesday. Today I have this interesting little guy to look at. This is the TS153. Again, don't let that lower number fool you. This one is quite a bit newer than a lot of those others that were released with those numbers. They were just kind of backfilling on quite a few of these. This is a Wong design, I believe. It is indeed. And straight up, I'm going to say this probably isn't his best work. And I'll kind of show and talk my way through that a little bit here. For one, this is the -C variant because it's got color from the titanium that has got that lightning strike, or well, I guess some people like Lynch Northwest call it a topographic finish or something like that. This is a titanium subframe lock with a little bit of micarta sitting on top. It's not inlaid into the titanium at all. It's just sitting on top. And it's got a whole lot of sharp edges to it. That actually makes it kind of uncomfortable to hold. There's just a whole lot of areas that, while I suppose it kind of provides a little bit of grip, it mostly provides a whole lot of irritation in the hand. But also because of the -C variant, they do polish the titanium up quite a bit beforehand, and that makes them a little bit slicker. You might have a little bit more luck with the one that wasn't anodized, that uses their standard sandblast finish for it, but that's not what I have here. We don't really have any jimping going up here, which I wouldn't have minded to help out a little bit with grip. We got a fairly lazy plunge grind that, depending on how the light hits it, might end back here, but it also could end a little bit further up the blade. The blade itself, not bad. It's D2, like pretty much almost all of their knives here. And we have a little bit of lock bar access over here. They didn't chamfer either side to give you a little bit more grip on there. That's fine. It doesn't really feel uncomfortable like anything's sticking out or sharp up there. So this knife kind of reminds me a little bit of a mix of a couple of Wong designs. There's this one. This is the 336. Of course, the blade is quite a bit more out there on that one in particular. But there's also this guy. This is the crap. This one doesn't have a number on it. That's unfortunate. But this is the one that also I have the other version that has a brass inlay on this guy here. Of course, both of those have thumb studs, whereas this one doesn't. It's flipper only. But it does kind of look to me kind of like a mix between these two, but not in a particularly great way, unfortunately. Just with the newer style micarta on this one, having all those sharp edges, it's pretty uncomfortable. The blade itself, not all that bad. The geometry on it is pretty good. It gets thick fairly fast, but it does come down to a nice geometry right behind the edge there. And then we got the back spacer that has all sorts of jimping. I suppose that can help out, making that a little bit more comfortable with some grip in that reverse hammer grip position. And that is all sorts of uncomfortable as well because of all the points coming off of the micarta on this guy here. Still, something that I do find a little bit unfortunate is that because these micarta things are onlays, they're not inlays, they did do a little bit of weight relieving on the inside here. Even on the lock bar side, where if they were going to do that, wish they would have at least taken the lock bar relief on the inside just to have it mimic the show side there. That would have been, kind of a nice touch, but oh well, they didn't. I guess that's kind of the way to put that. Looks like we have an internal. I was incorrect on that. It was just hidden. No, we got the stop pin there, going through the titanium. so it's not internal to the blade. Not necessarily a big deal one way or the other for a lot of knives, this one included, but some of them it can be quite nice for, especially if you do need to cut in more of a sharpening choil over time. That certainly helps give you more options for that, but this one seems to be fine because it doesn't interface with that sharpening choil area when it's closed, so you can do whatever the heck you want with it. So, let's see. We also have the problem of, well, this is a titanium clip with a single contact point going into micarta. And because of that, yeah, it's got some wiggle right out of the box. I haven't really carried this much either, which would only exacerbate the problem. So, and this was done well after Wong had designed other things to be able to take care of that, such as this one, the 336, that you have one visible screw, but we have a pin going through into the titanium also there, giving it a second point of contact. But he's also not super perfect with it, as this guy is going directly into G10, which is better than micarta, but it'll still get you some problems over time. But that was, in this particular case, the original version was in brass, which this was nice and secure. This G10 is a little bit more of a newer, more budget version of it, I suppose. But there we go. So, yeah, the handle is just really, really uncomfortable on it, unfortunately. But because the attachment points are so long on it, you would have to basically cut off or modify the pivot and the Chicago screw if you wanted to remove those. At that point, it might be a little bit more comfortable for you, but that is quite a bit of precision work to make sure that you didn't cut off too much. And if it's just a little bit over, then things aren't going to tighten up all that much. So, yeah, that's why I certainly haven't done any of the modifications for it. There's just kind of better knife models out there. But still, it is kind of attractive. I don't necessarily know if that natural kind of brown micarta on the colored thing looks quite as good as if they went with, I don't know, this standard olive drab or something like that. I think it would have probably looked a little bit better, but that's just kind of nitpicking or personal preferences there. There's where the detent for this guy is. We do have a detent ramp going on this guy here. No real problems getting the knife open or closed. The action's all right. Not the absolute epitome of drop shuttiness, but still very, very serviceable. And yeah, for the most part, we don't really have problems with like a snaggletooth or something like that. It does get a little close. Probably the first quarter, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch or something like that. I can reach in there and get that with my fingernail, but don't really have any problems with just having your hand breeze past it in the pocket. So, yeah, maybe not the best implementation, but certainly far from egregious compared to some other TwoSun models that have been out there. So, yeah, here we go. Let's go through some statistics here. We got 3.8 millimeter blade stock thickness. Still, I think probably a little bit thicker than it needs to be, but that's standard for TwoSun. 4.24 ounces or 120 grams. It is a fairly large knife after all. Yeah, 3.78 inch blade or 95.9 millimeters from kind of here way out to the end. And then the handle thickness is 0.63 with the micarta there, 0.63 of an inch or 16.1 millimeters. This guy is in D2 steel, if I didn't cover that earlier. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do some blade size comparisons, I suppose. Let's pull out that Paramilitary 2. There's a Para 3. That's quite a bit smaller, but y'all knew that. Alright, we got some Benchmades here. Let's start with the bug out. But we can get bigger with the Griptilian here, which is still kind of small overall in length and all that sort of stuff. There's the Benchmade 940. Rat number 1 is probably pretty applicable here. Yeah, it's fairly similar in proportions. Rest in peace, apparently. Ontario, at the time of recording this, just kind of announced they're closing their doors this week. I was just thinking about trying to pick up one of the Knife Center exclusive Rat 1s that they did with... I don't remember if it was G10 or Micarta and S35VN, but they're all sold out, and, well, it's not like they're going to make any more, so I certainly hope the people who did pick those up really appreciate them, because they're not really going to have a whole lot of opportunities to pick that up until, you know, another company ends up licensing out that Wrangell Adventure training sort of stuff, kind of like Essie does. They have the Avispa that was also kind of a rat sort of thing, just a little bit different model, more of a steel frame lock in that particular case. But yeah, there we go. There's the TS153-C from Wong. Maybe not his best work, but still, you know, all of that's down to opinion. So if that's something that actually does look interesting to you, and you either have crazy calloused hands or are using gloves, so this might not be nearly as uncomfortable, then there you go. More power to you. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look on the inside of this guy here. There's that single piece screw there with a Chicago screw going through it. And same right behind there. Kind of interesting that they did too, but I suppose that helps with the back spacer there. No call out pivot collar on this one though, so you know, that's probably a plus for quite a number of folks. And push those Chicago screws out of the way so I can actually get that off of here. And here we are. Yeah, this is what I was saying earlier. They did quite a bit of weight relieving on the inside here, which is why I would have appreciated having that weight relief done on the inside here. That would have, of course, changed a couple of these channels up a little bit, but, you know, it's all something that would have been decided during the design phase and all that sort of stuff. We got an extra pen in there, so that back spacer is very, very secure. More than is probably necessary, but it is what it is. We got their standard ceramic bearings in the nylon cages. And of course we have their standard steel bearing races here with the actual groove cut in there. And there we go. Yeah, there's the stop pin. Not internal to the blade, as we covered earlier, but it's not interfacing in the choil area, so you can fix that up in case something goes bad or you've sharpened the ever-loving crap out of it at some point. There we go. Yeah, you can kind of see without the micarta onlays or something like that, this thing would be interesting and quite thin. I don't know, I'm not super great at doing a whole lot of modifications to knives and stuff like that, but it does seem like something interesting where I would attempt to remove that just to make it quite a bit thinner and more comfortable to hold on to. But alrighty, here we go. Let's grab this guy, put him back all up in there. The pocket clip at least ends up working out all right. Has a decent ramp and some width and stuff like that. Just wish it wasn't secured with one little point onto brittle old micarta. But yeah, there we go. There's the TS153. Another one where I would say probably pass because Wong, for the most part, has done much better work in a very, very similar vein as this. But it's another one of those newer designs that I end up purchasing, whether or not I think I might actually like it. Partially for the channel and partially because, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit of a masochist or something like that. But alrighty, there we are. I've said everything I need to say. So, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo. And subscribe.